Hey, you all, I'm back. And it is a pleasure to be back here. I have so much to say, per usual, but all good stuff. I don't want to bring nothing to you but the good stuff, the things that I know that will encourage you, especially now, with all that's going on. So again, Michelle King, Soulful Nutrition and Wellness, where evolution is essential for growth. But yeah, gonna be touching on a topic that I've been waiting to touch on for the last 2 months. I am still, trying to get used to the whole video and uploading and just creating the time to do it. It is something that's new to me. I mean, I've been working in healthcare for all these years, and I clock in and out, so I don't have to think about my schedule. It's done. You go in when you go in and you get off when you get off. But I'm learning when you're creating your own brand and you are beginning to work for yourself, which totally I know that this is for God and His people, then that takes a whole different discipline to do that. So hats off to all the people that, all the YouTube videos that I see, all the, encouraging posts and things like that I see from the different people out here that are on YouTube and using social media to encourage people. It takes a lot of work. My goal, though, is to be more diligent. I should have I should be further than letter B in regards to the alphabet. I have all intentions on, going from A to Z. And so, but I'm going to start off where I left off, and that's with letter B. For the letter A, there's videos already available on Alzheimer's disease and advocacy. Can't quite think of the other one right now, but you are definitely welcome to go and take a look at those. And yeah, just any other shorts that I have. It's all valuable, loving information. So before I get going, though, I want to let you know, for any of those that are having issues and need a little help in regards to narcissistic relationships, situationships, I do have a book available on Amazon, and it is Creepy, in all caps, The Unveiling of a Narcissist. So this is what that cover looks like. I'm trying to decide whether I want to kind of, change the cover, but it has always been said to not judge a book by its cover. There's nothing but loving information in this book. It is not, totally about the narcissist, but, the things that are within us, those unhealed traumas, so that trauma bonding and things like that, that to me is what reels you in when it comes to being in this type of loveless situation. So don't judge the book by its cover. You go on and get you a copy. It's available on Amazon, along with the journal that you could use to as you're becoming healed and crying and getting it out, you can write some things down. And I've had others tell me that they utilize that same journal for other things as too. So yes, get your copy on Amazon. And then I also have soulful-store.com, and the book is available as an ebook. And I also have some amazing soulful merch on there. There's 2 different designs. There is this fruit and vegetable design. And I would just like to shout out my graphic designer. She's, really doing some things. She not only has created my images for me, but she now has a coloring book out. So Flavis is her brand. You can get her coloring books that she just has published and now showing up in local stores in our town. So yeah, what is it again? Visions of Flavis. So you know how you're remembering so much there's a lot going on, and so you're remembering so much, so that you then to be able to just come forth with all the things that you are trying to retain. It's like, whoa. But anyway, also let's talk about, and we'll get to boundaries, but let's talk about current situations a little bit. We're not going to give it too much energy, but I just hope and pray that you all are, doing okay when it comes to the situations with ICE and, and them showing up at different locations. Y'all, we just got to continue to pray. We got to continue to pray, and we got to stand and do all that we can to stand, because that's what the scripture tells us to do. And if you believe in the scriptures, not in a way that has been translated any differently than what God would have for it to be, but a translation that sets your soul free, a translation that sets your heart free, your mind, your body, your spirit. So, but enough of that. Let's hop into boundaries and what boundaries I believe and according to ChatGPT should look like. So the definition of boundaries is boundaries are limits or rules you set to protect your time, your energy, your body, and your values. They help define what's okay and what's not okay in your interactions with others. So, interactions with others, that means everybody. Yourself, your spouse, your mate, your mother, your father, your parents, siblings, those on your job, off your job, in a store, friends. That's everybody. Okay, so there is no one that you come in contact with that should not know what your boundaries look like, including yourself. We do not have the time to allow people to play with our emotions. We need to heal from within so that we can be all that we can be. So that we can see what's going on, even just today, with the news, the media, and then what they're not telling us. So it is time that we really focus on individually making sure that we're protecting our boundaries. So it lists here the different types of boundaries. You have your physical boundary, your emotional boundary, mental, time-related, and digital. So what we'll do is we will start with the physical and what that looks like. It says here, physical is your personal space and physical needs. Personal space and physical needs. So it's always been said, we tend to say, give me 50 feet, because, hey, look, you coming up on me too close, too fast, You should be able to emit an energy that will help an individual to stay, stay back. But at the same time, when you're empathetic of others, perhaps you can allow people to get too close to you. And that's when people, from what I see and gather, people tend to take us for granted. They'll take your empathizing heart for granted. But you have to have internal healing to know what that might look like and what things that are within you that you need to heal from. What I've learned, and this is in the book as well, when we are not our authentic self, you almost willing to accept attention from anybody. And that's bad, You almost willing to accept attention from anybody, especially if you grew up without a parent or parents. You just want to be loved, just want somebody to love and love you. Because that's what we've been taught. we've been taught to just always search for love outside of ourselves. That's what the templates have taught us. And so you don't know any different. So now you're accepting all kind of, mess from people. And so when it comes to physical, or personal space, what does that look like for you? Do you need to lessen the amount of company that enters your door, dropping deposits of darkness? Do we need to, watch who it is that we are giving our times when it comes to just dating? You don't have to be a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, but just dating people. Are we protecting our personal space? Or are we just letting people bombard and, bum rush us with whatever energy and trauma that, they have going on? So personal space is give me 50 feet, man. Don't be coming up on me. Ask me if you can come by. Call me instead of just showing up. And then if I say that I don't want company right now, then you, an individual should be able to accept that. We don't owe anybody nothing but love, respect, and dignity. So, with that being said, your physical space, your physical needs are important, and you come first. If you're a mother with children and a husband, you tend to give to the family, and then some are, working at home and outside of home. So you're giving your all to the family, but did you meet your own physical needs? Did you get your workout in? Did you get your walk in? Are you just purchasing clothing and stuff for the family, but not making sure that you have good socks to put on your feet, supportive, holes, because and I mean holes as in stockings, if that's something that you wear, but supportive socks because you're on your feet all day. That's a personal physical need. So yeah, protect yourself, protect your space, okay? Emotional, protecting your feelings and emotional energy. It's one thing to be sympathetic, but to be empathetic, you just pretty much can feel that person's pain, or a perceived pain. You'll feel it before they feel it because you just care that much. And so protecting your emotional energy is extremely important, because that's how you get into situations, relationships and friendships that, maybe you shouldn't have been in, or, maybe you allowed it to just go on way longer than what you intended because you have this empathetic heart. Just because you have an empathetic heart don't mean you need to allow people to run over your boundaries. Protect your, emotional peace. It's said that you can't pour from, a cup that is half full or half empty, however you look at the glass, because it's perception. But you need to know that your cup should be full for you at all times, because then you can give from the overflow. Our focus should be that we make sure that our cup is full. And that's not in a self-centered fashion. But if you don't take care of you, who will? Who will? So protect your emotional energy, boundaries, peace. No one can do that for you. If you don't put boundaries on yourself, then how can you place boundaries on someone else? So first, you have to service yourself by doing this thing. Let's move on to mental. Respecting your thoughts, opinions, and beliefs. When I first read that, I thought about being passive, being assertive, or being aggressive. I used to be too passive. I had a coworker, and I thank her for it. Shout out. I ain't gonna, give out her name, but She would tell me all the time, Michelle, you're just too passive. And I, in my heart, I'm thinking, oh, but it's the Lord. It's the Lord. But you know what? There was trauma there. There was trauma there. So when there's trauma, then all you're concerned with is making sure that you're, appeasing to everyone. Instead of, making sure that you're good, and then be appeasing to everyone. You don't have to let anyone run over you and just be so passive to the point where you just go somewhere and be crying all the time. There's got to be some balance in it. And if it's not, then you got to go within and, get some things healed up on the inside. And whether that takes you to talk to someone, whether that takes you to speak with a therapist, whether you want to talk with a holistic health coach or a mindset coach, then seek it out, because it's okay to need that assistance. But don't continue don't continue to allow people to mess with your mental wellness, your mental boundaries. So if you're in a relationship and you're being mentally abused and there's this constant gaslighting and love bombing going on, and you just feel it all in your system for 5 months, 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years, then you might want to get some help and talk to somebody, because it breaks down your mind, your body, and your spirit. Mental abuse causes you to physically be sick, or can. Mental abuse can cause a rewiring of the neurotransmitters within the brain, and your dopamine and all these different hormones that you utilize just to exist and thrive and be on a daily basis. Homeostasis, one of my favorite terms. Seeking balance within so that you can jive with that's without. But the within comes first. So if you got somebody that's constantly gaslighting you or manipulating you, messing with your mental, then that throws off your chemistry. And now it's just it's a constant just adrenaline rush. The fight and flight just be, off the chart. And that's how it is with a lot of us, especially living here in the States. I mean, it's a capitalistic country, and we know this. And then we got all this other stuff, going on. And 19 Keys calls it, I love me some 19 Keys. Check them out. 19 Keys calls it psychological warfare. Psychological warfare. And so that's an external thing that's messing with your internal. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to begin to grab hold of our mental boundaries. I was speaking to someone today, went to work out this morning, and I came in, at this point, ready to work out, but carried some of the current events in with me. And my coach was like, look. I can only do so much of that right now. I know it's happening. I know it exists, but guess what? I'm going through some things. You going through some things. We all are going through some things, and you have to put the limit on what it is, guys, that you can take in. Tomorrow, you might be able to accept, okay, yeah, let's go and talk. Oh, yeah, I saw that video and what they got going on in Chicago. I saw it. Tomorrow you might be more ready for it. But, we have to respect people's mental boundaries. And if a person can't respect your mental boundaries, then they got some things going on the inside as well. Okay? So again, that's pretty much what, creepy in all caps is about. Respecting you. And you have to respect you in order to make sure the next person respects you. Time-related boundaries. Managing how your time is used and honored. So we all work our jobs, or those that do work jobs. You don't even have to work outside the home. Working at home, your time should be respected. If you're a housewife and your spouse goes out and, brings in the bacon and you cook the bacon, that is fine. But also, just because you don't go out the home to work does not mean that your time isn't valuable. Now, if we're, on social media too long, and that would be digital, digital boundaries, which is the last boundaries here. But if you're spending too much time doing other things, but are not getting the domesticated things, accomplished that you and your spouse have discussed that you should be doing, because, man, you get to be at the crib, you get to be at home and take care of the kids and stuff. And if that needs to be switched up at some point, then that's something that should be discussed, because there's a boundary that you need to uphold when it comes to your time. So our jobs, if all you can give is 4 10-hour shifts, 4 8-hour shifts per week, and you give it all you got, that's you respecting your time. But no one else should be telling you what type of time you should be giving. That's an inside job. Just as long as you are doing what it is that you are supposed to do with your time is what's most important. Because at the end of the day, your job doesn't give you the time. Your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, children don't give you the time that's allotted to you. I would suggest that God gives you your time, and he tells us not to worry. In the word of God, it says, don't even worry about tomorrow, because all you can really contain is today. Christ said that, for one. And for two, you don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. So it looks like that I would suggest that we need to begin to appreciate the time that we are given and live out each moment in that moment. Live out each moment in that moment. Do I have it all figured out? No. That's why I'm on here. Let's take a journey toward wellness together. Let's take a journey toward wellness together. And I care enough about God's people to want to dive into bringing it to social media. It's amazing to me, actually. Registered nurse, healthcare since 1991. And I humbly say that I'm proud and I'm thankful for being able to do this and just moving by faith, with my passion. But time related. So your time should be respected. Your children should respect your time, and let your no be no and your yes be yes. And there's a scripture to back that up as well. I'm not trying to come from, a religious standpoint, but the word of God means so much to me, because it has brought me this far. So others should respect your time, but yet they're not going to respect your time if you don't. Digital boundaries. Your comfort level with online communication and sharing. I hear a lot of people say that they don't like being on YouTube. They don't like social media. I'm not too fond of social media. I just really began to use Facebook in 2017. April 2017 is when I finally started a Facebook page. Otherwise, prior to that, all social media to me was, the devil, dark. That was my perception, though. That was my perception. I'm not saying it is, but that was my perception. And so those were boundaries for me that I upheld to go along with my perception. I ain't getting on there, or, just things that I learned from, being in church as a younger person, young person that, we always calling everything the devil. So those are reasons why I was not on, YouTube earlier or social media prior to 2017. And then I was married, and so you want to respect your marriage. And I had saw, others go through things because the husband has found out you're communicating with this person on Facebook and vice versa. So I wasn't going to be going through all that, and it wasn't any reason for me to feel like I needed to place that type of pressure on myself. So I was like, I'm good, and I wasn't missing anything. And now that I am on it, I try to also still limit how much I'm utilizing social media, because next thing you know, you upset, messing with your spirit because you're not doing what that person is doing, or your brand isn't moving as quick as their brand. And, ooh, was that comment, that post, was that about me or, against me, or am I just tripping? So, boundaries. Only do what it is that's good for you. And if you need to cut down, do so, because you got to do this for you so that you can be whole. Also, too, boundaries in your community. Boundaries in your community when you're out and about, especially I would say, even in the Black community, it's not cute to just stay in a place, especially as a woman. I can't really speak for a man, but for a woman to, we tend to look at each other as being strong. Ooh, you a strong woman. You a strong Black woman. You strong, you strong. And we tend to carry that type of mindset and energy within us. So then we don't know how to ask for help. We always tend to look upside another queen's head, like it's, something wrong with her or something wrong with him. And at the end of the day, we all just need to be loving one another. But when you're in the community, still uphold your boundaries, but yet be kind. We need to be kind to one another. And I'm not trying to come on here and, act like I'm somebody's mother, or I'm just spreading love, y'all. And that's what Jesus is all about, spreading love. We have to be kind to one another. Another thing that comes to mind, when we participate in different organizations within our community, because we love community so much and we just want to make a difference, but you can't be a part of everything. You can't show up for every event. There's just no way. You have to get rest. You have to rest your mind, rest your body. Take care of your home, clean up your crib. I got stuff I need to do at home right now. Like, you can't be everywhere all the time. You can't be everybody's everything. There's got to be boundaries in regards to how much of you you're willing to put out. So make sure that, you are taking a look, write some things down, taking a look at what it is that you want, how you want to evolve in your own life, in your own existence, in your own being. No one can do that for you. I hope that I have inspired you to begin to look at the things that you need to scale back from, and then maybe some other things that you could begin to participate in that you've been wanting to, do. If you have a class that you've been wanting to take and that's going to add to you, for whether it's just for personal knowledge or whether it's for something that you want to be able to share with others, do it. Cut back here and then do that thing, and you'll be overjoyed because you accomplished it. And that's what it's all about. We can't stay stagnant. We cannot stay stagnant. So when it comes to boundaries, make sure that you are not just allowing yourself to just be bound. If you know what I mean, just be bound within and not elevating, not growing. All right, y'all, I guess I've said enough. Again, Soulful Nutrition and Wellness, mind, body, spirit. If you or any of your loved ones are looking for a means to heal, let them know that this book is available. Okay. Don't let the cover fool you. It's all good. It's all good. Filled with love. Got some scriptures in there to refer to. And I parallel narcissism with one of my favorite passages in the Bible. So until next time, peace out. Godspeed.